LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking to pass and blitz. We're talking to jump and switch. We're talking to pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Beat bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 outs, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuning to Legacy. Checkered flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the mat? Legacy. You want a legacy. You build a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see. Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell Owens and Jay Quimby.
What's up, everybody? It's been too long. We love y'all. Welcome to episode 258 of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. And that's right. Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on. Social distancing. Phase 2 underway here in Virginia. So that means we're back, baby.
Yeah!
Let's do it.
Let's get it on like Donkey Kong.
It's so good to have all y'all with us, man. It's been...
I missed you so much, Darrell.
I missed you too. I truly did. Like, it's funny because I think we did a show in between there on Zoom, which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. You know how it is, man.
It wasn't the chemistry. It wasn't fun.
Facts. So then I didn't see the chemistry that we need in our lives. It's just something.
Okay,
that we
you
didn't
just
have.
went really southern or Cajun there. Sorry,
Cajun.
can't say that R word. Cajun. No more Cajun.
No more Cajun. I'm gonna try to be good. I'm gonna try to, I'm just excited. It's been a while, and we're just glad to be back in front of everybody today.
Good evening, Steven.
Oh, my man Steven. Is that my man Steven Atkins? Hey, what's up, Steven, man? How you doing, brother? Hope all is well. Now, everybody, like I said, we got an action-packed show for you today. We're going to talk about quite a few topics. And, of course, we'll have cash or trash. We'll have who you choosing. And then, of course, we got our man Tyrone Montgomery Jr., who will be joining us halfway through the show to talk NBA because the NBA will be back at the end of next month. Kind of. I mean, I'm just ready, Jay.
And I might have read this wrong because I thought they were doing 15 and then they changed it to 7. But I was talking to Becca, and she said they changed it to 17 people. And which one is it?
17, like, teams?
For the roster.
I think it's 15.
It just got changed.
Did it get changed again? Oh,
yeah.
Man, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. I just feel like...
It's controversy, Ralph.
What's up, Ralph? How you doing, brother? I just feel like they're just trying to find a way to get everything,
What's up, Darrell and Jay? Pops is watching. Wow, I'm so impressed that you got everything spelled almost correctly, Dad.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow. That's how we treat Dad to get this thing started.
Well, I mean, he had, inkwells in his desks when he was a kid. Give him a break. He can write calligraphy, but he can't type to save his damn life.
Is that all he got? All right, everybody. We got an action-packed show for you. And like I said, we got Ty coming on in a little while. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing started off on the right foot and just, try to bring y'all, the 3 hottest topics going on right now. And that will be for Legacy on Fire. Legacy on Fire this time around has been it's been a very interesting couple of weeks, Jay, because...
No, interesting is an understatement. I mean, it's a tragedy, and it's sad that it took the events to get some of these people's eyes opened.
It's been really hard. It's crazy because, and for those who we're talking about the George Floyd situation. It's been the George Floyd situation. We've had riots, we've had protesters, we've had statues coming down. You name it. Everything you can conceivably think of that can make 2 cultures just collide are happening right now, or if not multiple cultures, if I want to say that, because the police culture itself is its own culture just based off of that. But it has been a wild ride all the way around, and I just think that, hopefully we can get things, to calm down just a little bit. Seems the last, let me knock on wood, but the last couple of days has been a little bit calmer now, other than the statues getting tipped over.
They're still tearing down the statues, and I mean, I get their point, the symbolism behind them, but one thing that my grandfather, may he rest in peace, taught me is if you don't remember your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Does it need to be in a statue? No, but some of the younger folks, I mean, if it's not right in their face, they don't think about it.
That's true, and I think all right. So it's a combo package for me. So my feelings are yes.
What's up, G?
Just you see the statues up there. It does remind you of the history. You see everything. You say to yourself, man, wow, this is. This happened. It's like you kind of need that reminder a little bit to know that, where your people came from on both sides. You kind of do need to know where your people came from on both sides. But the question is, how do you react to it? Does it make you a better person? Does it shape you into a better person than what, your ancestors had on both sides? Like, with my grandparents being slaves, great family members being slaves, I say to myself, like, okay, their hard work and determination has gotten me to this point to be able to do what I need to do to showcase me, and showcase, my culture, my style. And I think, I see where, some people are like, well, it's heritage and all that stuff. But I think people need to look at that other side, Jay. That's just my opinion. I'm not
it
going
goes
too
back
deep
and
because I
forth
get
because every people look at me like during those days where it was going on. My dad raised me old school. You make eye contact with anybody, you give them a head nod just to, say, hey, yep,
Right.
I recognize you. How you doing? I was scared just because automatically, of the color of my skin. But you know this.
Yeah.
I'm Native American.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know that about you. I thought it was funny. Remember a couple of weeks ago, me and Jay went to Fridays, and just because me and Jay are together, going to go eat, we got dirty looks just because of that.
Right.
I
Exactly.
mean,
and it was bad.
And then but you can tell that tension that's been going on. And
I just wanted somebody to say something off color to you because I was about ready to go.
You was about to let them have it.
Oh, yeah. Well, the lady, normally I wouldn't, but she just saw you drive by and she's like, "Oh my God,
Yeah, I thought
there's a black man in a car." Well, no shit, woman.
I definitely struck terror in that woman's heart, and I wish I didn't, but I mean, I have no control over
I'm
that
sorry.
part.
I don't mean to say anything to offend people, but he's my brother. I love him. I will defend him. I will die for him. Don't fuck with him.
I feel the exact same way. I mean, I think sometimes we get so tied up, sometimes on color. I am so proud of my culture. Never take that away from me. But there's so many people I've met on so many different spectrums, that great people, that it's hard for me to take away those great relationships. And I try not to look at their past and judge them. You know what I'm saying? When it comes,
Right.
deep past and judge them.
But see, your past is behind you, and you can't allow your past to define you because that's what helps round you. I wouldn't be the person I am. I wouldn't be able to be in the great relationship I am with right now if I didn't have people trample on me. I wouldn't have the ability
Right.
to look from different positions and that. I mean, hell, remember when Rob was giving me shit the first couple shows, and I was just like, I don't like that guy at all, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to take constructive criticism.
Right.
It's a growing process.
Yeah, and I think that as a nation we can get it together. It's going to take some time to try to heal, and it's going to take everybody together trying to make that thing happen.
Yes.
But like I said, with everything going on, I do pray for George Floyd's family and everybody who's been affected. Breonna Taylor, Aubrey, and it's just so much going on,
including I know not everybody is fans of police officers, and they need to reevaluate that system. There needs to be police or people that police the police. Does that make sense?
I agree with that. And, I think a lot of it, we're seeing things now where they're saying they're defunding a lot of people in school. Like they're
I
taking
love you too, G.
They're taking police officers out of schools and stuff. I'm not a fan of that. That's a good one, G. Appreciate that, brother. But yeah, we see them trying to take police. I think some of it is a little bit
You know,
overstretched. I think they need to really take their time before they just start jumping on decisions.
My grandfather was a police officer for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, I never, like, when was telling him about, I met Mr. Rollback. I mean, hell, Grandpa was computer savvy, so he was on YouTube. Man, he looks like he's pretty awesome. I'd love to meet him, and you got to meet Grandpa Harrington.
Yeah. I mean, a great person. I mean, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, just everybody just try to. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna take some time, and take pride in your culture. I understand that, but then sometimes when you take pride in your culture, just gotta watch out for other people's. Cause it's a crazy world out there. That's
be
all I'm
open
saying.
to other people's culture.
Yeah, I mean, listen to it. Sometimes the stuff is outrageous.
but I mean, if somebody is gonna try to silence you on what your beliefs are, bitch smack them.
What that guy said.
I mean, you're allowed to say how you feel as long as you say it appropriately.
Exactly. So
don't attack somebody, and if you can't rationalize with them, walk away.
Exactly. So, yeah, like I said, it's been a tough.
What's up, Alico?
Ooh.
You okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been running.
You've been running?
I've been
Darrell, we've been friends going on a little.
You've never seen
10
me
years.
run, I know.
You got a nice. Okay, I'm being really nice. A spin move, and me with having the replaced hip still got a better spin move than
it's
you.
Probably about right. My knees are not where they need to be. But anyway, everybody just try to find a way
we
for us to
need
work
to bring
together.
Drew Brees to the front of the congregation.
Well,
It's
guess
funny because that's our next topic.
That's our next topic. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Mr. Drew Brees because Drew Brees obviously made some statements that a lot of people were not thrilled about.
No,
and
he fucked up.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like this could have went a couple of different ways. The way he said it, I think in most people's eyes.
The way he wrote it.
The way he, right. It just, I feel like he could have put 2 or 3 extra words in there that could have, all he had to say in there was like, he could have said everything he said, but then say, I have a lot of friends that, believe in this and, I support them on that end. But for me, I could never do or don't feel like I should be doing that. If you say that, you get a little backlash, but you ain't getting as much backlash as you're getting right now. And he's been on the apology tour. God bless him.
Jay, we traded Candace Owens for you.
Oh, who said that?
Alico. Who the hell's Candace Owens?
So, all right. That's great, Alico. I love that.
That's that lady you did the interview with?
No. Candace Owens is she's a very popular Republican, black lady, who's a huge, Trump supporter, and she,
well, that's fine. If she's supporting him, trade me.
I'm in.
I don't like Cheetos.
Jay has been selected to the black delegation.
I'm absolutely good with that.
He said, "I'm down, baby." Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because the Drew Brees situation. I feel like if he'd have worded it, like I said, just a little bit differently, he might have been all right.
It's like we talked earlier. A lot of people can read a post,
right,
or a text, and take the words differently, knowing the person, and get 2 or 3 different outcomes of it.
Right.
If he would have went and did a live video, I think we'd be talking differently about this. But what he's done has already been done.
Yeah.
Now it's just.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
I pray to God, when somebody actually gets a clean hit on him, that he's able to walk again.
I'm worried about him in that aspect because I think there was an Eagles player. I think they played the Eagles this year, if I'm not mistaken. And an Eagles player, I want to say it was an Eagles player that was like, "We got to see him in week so-and-so, and I'll be ready." I'm like, dang. And just think about that. That's just one player that's saying that. How many people have said that in their minds, and they're just waiting and salivating at the mouth to just say, "Hey, Drew Brees, it's nice to see you, sir."
You're right, Steven. He did backtrack faster than Usain Bolt. But the thing, but one of the biggest things about that is, social media. I'm a fan of it because what it's brought to us, but it's one of those things where you can get one of those thugs behind a keyboard that's cool, but you wouldn't talk that shit to me in my face because I knock you out.
And that's the thing, like people get brave behind this thing right here.
The black delegation has spoken. Hey, you know what? I'm good with it because I got two wonderful nieces and nephew. I saw my nieces do a peaceful protest, and it broke my heart. But I understood why they did what they did, because I still see those cute little girls, and anybody mess with them, they get the same thing if they mess with Darrell.
Fact City, man. I mean, and it's vice versa. I know we've been a little mushy at the beginning of this one, but it's been a while. We got a lot to get out. But like seeing your daughter graduate was a big thing for me because I remember when you first came around.
Oh, you were there for
the fifth grade graduation,
fifth grade
and eighth grade,
and eighth grade graduation.
So seeing her grow up is like, and it's just like she's like my child. So I mean, and that's the type of thing, man. Like when we were growing up, you took care of your own, and the community worked together to try to raise people. So I'm so proud of her. So congratulations on that. But with Drew Brees, man, do you think Drew Brees will recover from this? Because it's been rough, man. It's been really rough.
No. And to
no.
go with G said Drew Brees could have just said no comment. And that's absolutely true.
He could have.
I agree with that 100%. Just because then there wouldn't have to be a retraction and doing this and
yeah, it's been a lot.
He uses Eli as he said Eli didn't say anything or put his foot in the fire. Absolutely. I agree.
Sometimes you just gotta be quiet.
1,000%.
Sometimes you gotta be.
Sometimes the strongest words are the ones that aren't said.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that, I think with everything that was going on, everybody was riding on a high. Everybody's on a high right now.
What about Jake from State Farm?
Oh, now that's a whole nother dream right there.
But see that.
But that was a couple years ago, right?
That was a couple years ago, but on that one, I really can't because I read some of that stuff, and I mean, that pissed me off a bit.
Yeah, he messed up too. I mean, I think that because he's not as big right now as a Drew Brees or anything. It's kind of getting, I don't say swept under the rug, but you're not hearing as much about it. Yeah, my man messed up. I mean, and it's some of the things he said. We all have crazy thoughts.
Thank you, Becca.
But I think sometimes you just gotta keep your thoughts to yourself. I mean, because it can get a little outlandish out there.
Gee, where's my tissues? Y'all make me sick. I'm a thug. First of all, I don't think you're a thug by any means, man. And
that's great.
It is what it is. I would say 85% of my really close friends are people of color. I don't see that stuff. I see people. And if anybody got a problem, fuck them.
Facts. As I'm saying, I have a multitude of friends on all cultures. So for me, it's kind of hard because you want to see everybody's angle during this thing. And some people make it hard for you to do that. But then some people don't, and they kind of it's just some people you're able to relate to a little bit more than some people talk some sense, and some people you're like, bro, you tripping.
but also you gotta also take some people. The way you raise people is different,
right?
I'm not gonna get into anything like that, but maybe Jake from State Farm, whatever, was raised to have this, snooty nose, and with him being he's in Buffalo now.
Yeah.
If it snows or rains, he's gonna drown, man.
Right, facts. And I think that like a lot of people don't realize that a lot of this hate and stuff that we're running to it's generational. Your parents were brought that. You grew up around it. You attached to it because that's what you know. And I think a lot of people, even if you get a little bit culture, it's still there sometimes because you've been around it so much.
And, I love my father, but my father was in school during all the segregations and stuff like that. And he had sometimes different points of views about that. Just because he's my dad doesn't mean I share his views.
Right.
I mean, I love you, Dad, but I wouldn't date the type of women you date.
Oh, my God. All right, so we're going to go to our last Legacy on Fire topic, and that is the NFL issued an apology. Goodell came out, had about a minute long
It's
speech
4 years too late.
Facts. I mean, when it comes down to it, he waited to make this apology. And
he waited till he was backed into a corner.
And then he had to.
And,
but the crazy thing about it is most people say the only reason why he did is because Patrick Mahomes and the guys made that video. And he felt like if he didn't say something, when your top stars, I mean, it was like 5 guys in there.
I saw it.
So, when you got all your studs in this, all of your top players are feeling this way, you got to say something. The other big controversy from it is they said that they felt like he should have apologized to Kaepernick, and he didn't.
Now,
but like I said, that's the other part that I've heard on that. I mean, but I feel like
I'm going to agree to disagree with you on that because the NFL went out of their way to set up a thing for Kaepernick to do a tryout. Mm-hmm. And then Kaepernick shot himself in the foot by changing everything last minute.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing because I've heard things where it said like they made it seem like he did it. There was a reason behind it, but I mean, who knows what the true reason behind all of that? But for me, I feel like the NFL, like you said, 4 years too late on this apology. This apology should have happened a long time ago, or they should have been ready. Appreciate that, G. I appreciate that, brother.
You still owe me steak, bro.
Yeah, man. Jay's like, look, Longhorns down here. We got Texas Roadhouse, Ruth Chris.
I'm just giving you shit, G. I really am.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Stop being mean to Pops. You know what? 40 years I put up with his shit. It's time. I'm getting payback.
You're gonna let him get a little bit from it.
No, it's all right. I'll push him down on a nice sloped hill in his wheelchair.
You can't push Pops down the steps, man. I mean, like.
No, I said a hill. Well, I wouldn't do the steps. That's cruelty to steps.
Wow. Wow. Man, Pops, still love you, brother. I promise you that.
But, the thing with Kaepernick is people are like, oh, he lost all his football and this and that. He made so much more money off of Nike than he would have made being a quarterback.
Right.
So, I mean,
I don't think I think even if he got an offer, I don't know if he'd take it. He might take it to keep building the platform because I saw something earlier where they said, Carroll said there's some teams in the league that are truly keeping an eye on him now. And I've been predicting Seattle will be the spot. I've been saying it for a little bit. If he gets signed, that's where he goes.
I think New England.
Somebody said New England earlier, but the only reason why I said Seattle is I feel like he has to go to a place where he can, if he decides to sign, where he can be, where they have a strong quarterback in front of him. But, I mean, I don't know. I just got a feeling Seattle's the spot.
But, the thing with Kaepernick is he still would have been in the league, and you and I talked about this, I think, last week.
Right.
But he lost everything in the NFL when he took the knee, but he wore those pig socks out.
That's the thing that I think. But, see, all right, so I saw something the other day that kind of made me think a little bit about that. Because I used to say I think that where he lost a lot of people in the protest is the pig socks. But when I was talking to Leroy Butler, he said the one thing that kind of that changed it was he felt like, Kaepernick decided to wear the pig socks because him doing the silent protest on the knee, at the beginning, nobody was paying attention to it. And then he started wearing the pig socks. And it really, people started noticing it, but it grew after he did the pig socks.
Yes.
So he did it as a ploy to get more attention. And I was like,
and it backfired.
I think it backfired initially, but it backfired, but it didn't backfire because now he's got people that are in his corner for life. You know what I'm saying? Like they're his right hand no matter what.
Right.
People are Kaepernick has got supporters for life unless he does something off the ball.
But then you also get, and this is my last thing, and we can move on. We need to move on to the next. So many people gave Tim Tebow shit because of his beliefs.
Right.
Taking a knee, thanking God. So what, the man? I'm religious. I just don't go to a building to do it.
Right.
I talk to him every day. Pray for my girl and my girls. Constantly pray for you. When I went home and you were here, and they had all the shit going on.
Right.
I was worried about you and Becca. So yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you just kind of like, well, what do I do?
You can't do. It's got to be fair across the board.
Exactly.
That's it.
All right, y'all. So now we go to a segment that I say I love it.
You miss me so much. You know I do, Dad. So stop your shit.
Now let's go to Who You Choosing?
Uh-oh.
All right, so before we bring Ty on, which he's our NBA expert here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network,
Ty.
2 up and 2 down report. We're going to have Ty on here in just a little bit. But before we bring Ty on, we got a couple of who you choosing topics to go over real quick. And then we're going to bring the man, myth, and the legend that is Tyrone Montgomery on to talk NBA. It went in there, didn't it?
Yeah. I told you, B.
He was talking about it before the show. He was like, the straw cannot go in there. It's not long enough.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Dang it, I couldn't get it out in time. Dang it. All right, so let's go to our first who you choosing topic. And the first one we got, the Pistons. There's been talk all over the last couple of weeks that the Detroit Pistons could be potentially looking at two of their former 2004 championship players to be their GM. One being Tayshaun Prince, the other being Chauncey Billups. Jay, if you had to choose, who you choosing for the GM?
Big shot Billups. Just looking at what he's done after his career, I really think that he would have an eye and a idea of the way building. Not trying to take away from Tayshaun, but once Tayshaun left Detroit,
right,
he was never the same player.
Yeah, I mean, he had, I forgot who he played. I think he played for, like, Orlando. He played for the Grizzlies. There was a couple other spots he went to. And, you know, Billups, but see, Billups is already, his name has been in the mix for a while. Because we heard the Cavaliers, I think, at one time, well, not Boston, but it was the Cavaliers, and there was another team that was in the mix a while ago.
Charlotte?
I think it might have been Charlotte. I think it was Charlotte. And those two teams were in the mix. But this one makes perfect sense. So, you know, they had Joe Dumars there for a long time running the ship.
He was doing good things.
Yeah, and so, I mean, if you're going to bring somebody in, bring somebody who cares about Detroit basketball.
Exactly.
And who cares more about Detroit basketball. And nothing against Tayshaun, but who cares about Detroit basketball more than Chauncey Billups. So I think Chauncey Billups is the way to go on that one. What's wrong, bro?
Becca, y'all are ridiculous, and then got the eye roll with the smacky face.
I don't think, what did we do?
I don't, only God knows. Jay, you also already owe like 40. No.
Is it already?
40. I think it's more like 60. But
I think, okay, well, we'll keep the other 20 under the rug. The next one.
If I'm paying somebody, never mind. I'm going to be good.
Next one. If you're an NFL GM, who you choosing? Dez Bryant or Antonio Brown?
Dez Bryant. Because I'm going to tell you, I really feel Antonio Brown, unless they get him on some good antipsychotics or talking to somebody, he is, went way off the deep end. Talent-wise, you want AB. AB has still got a lot of football left in him.
Right.
Dez has kind of fought injury, but Dez, 10 years ago I'd have said, no, Dez Bryant is
hands down
gonna. But I'm still going Dez.
So all right. So I'm gonna sound crazy, but it is. I'm gonna go with AB. I feel like AB's been trying to go on this redemption tour. You see him going out with a couple. He's hung out with Lamar Jackson. He's doing some stuff there. He's hung out with Dwayne Haskins
But
Incorporated.
Do you think it would be like Rivera today said that there's no way.
There's no way.
It's not
Right.
happening.
Right.
But having him in Baltimore with his cousin
It would be huge.
it would be huge, but would it be good for his cousin's development? Because if Antonio decides to go off on one of his
You're worried that Hollywood may follow suit.
Yeah, throwing bags of dicks at people.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. I would hope that if he brought him in, maybe them being together could kind of cool him down.
Help, but I've also heard Tom Brady wants him. Tom, you have one of the
played
best
one game with my man.
wide receiver
You don't need no more wide
duos.
receivers. You don't need no more wide receivers. He's solid, bro.
Yeah.
And he got Gronk. What else do you want, man?
We only got $4.6 million left in cap space. So unless you're willing to give up $25 million or part of that $25 million,
right.
Just shut up.
Yeah, bro. Like I can't see that one going down. At least not now. Next one, and this one I think is going to be a fun one, especially for you baseball fans out there. Better swing, Joe Morgan or Gary Sheffield? Who you choosing?
Joe Morgan.
Oh man, you know what?
Just because the Sheffield shuffle, as we call it with the elbow, I could never, I always used to get yelled at by my baseball coach because I was the guy that would sit up there and I would wave the top of the bat.
Right.
And he's like, you can't always make connection with your swing by waving. But I couldn't sit there and pop my foot either for anxiety.
Right.
I just had to do what I had to do.
Well, see, that's my thing. all right, so I'll look at it and I say to myself like, what's my man's name?
Well, let's look at batting
Well,
average.
well,
Joe Morgan's got a better one.
he does have a better batting average. I will give him that. But for me, I gotta go. I'm gonna go with Sheffield because as a kid, I remember going in the backyard, doing the little shuffle thing.
And this is why you sucked at baseball.
No, I was solid, man. I made all district once.
Mm-hmm.
I was solid with it. I was all right. Had a couple home runs. I was all right. Man, whatever. I don't even care. I don't even care. So what? I mean, I was good.
The voice change
Yeah.
says you care. So just.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, but you're supposed to care, right? Look.
You supposed to care?
I mean, a little bit.
A little bit, especially when I was like 5'2" and weighed 140 pounds.
Oh shoot!
And I batted 400.
See, my thing was, all right. So I got walked a lot, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I did. I got walked a lot.
Oh,
and
I intentionally would lane you into pitches because free base is free base.
Bro, I got walked way too much. I'm picking Sheffield, but I always thought that Joe Morgan was doing Morse code when he was up there. I don't know who he's trying to get a connection with, but you see him in there. He's going to work. He's like, ah. But that was Joe Morgan. All right, everybody, that was who you choosing. But now it is time for Digging Deep. And in this edition of Digging Deep, we've got our man, Mr. Tyrone Montgomery Jr. coming on here. The
Ty,
two up and two down report, baby. You name it. He does it all. Ty, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How y'all doing?
Man, Ty, we are fine like a glass of wine.
That sounds good right about now.
I don't know what. First of all, I don't drink wine. Hell no. Don't compare me to wine.
Oh, man, but wine is better with age.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying.
And you're just calling me out because I'm the oldest person.
No, I wouldn't do that. I love you, man. That's not what you think.
I walk with a cane because I have to, not by choice.
So, Ty, man, look, man, we haven't had you on since all the COVID stuff started going down. So,
how have you been?
Yeah.
I mean, just overall, besides lack of sports.
I've been good, man. Just staying busy. I don't know how many vacations I had to cancel already. Virus.
You're preaching to the choir, man, because my trips keep getting moved back and back and back, and I need to get the hell out.
Starting to sound like Fat Joe. Lean back. But yeah, man. I mean, it's
right.
been. But the wife doing good. Everybody doing well.
Everyone's doing well, man. I mean, we're blessed. Considering the circumstances, we're still trucking along and we're still moving forward. So no complaints over here.
Awesome, man. That's good to hear.
Great. When is Ty Montgomery III coming?
Oh.
Slow your roll.
Look, don't start sweating. Run, Ty, run.
I just want to know.
No.
I need
quarantine
another
babies over here.
No. I need another type of nephew or niece to spoil. You know what I'm saying?
Just one more. That's it.
No. I got 3 up in Michigan. I've got 3 here. So I mean, why not? I love spoiling kids that aren't mine.
There you go.
I promise you, it'll happen, but no time soon.
All right, okay.
Okay.
That's fair enough. Now,
next week we're gonna get that text.
Now, Ty, like I said, man, guess what's happening in about a month and a half from now? I think you already know. Finally, the NBA is back, and I know you're excited about it, man, and we all are. We're just glad to be getting some sports back, and I mean, with everything that's about to start up, we're starting to hear little rumors here and there. Everything's starting to feel really good. But let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on the format that the NBA has for their return? What are your initial thoughts on that?
I like it. I like it a lot, Darrell. I feel like the 8 regular season games is going to be good enough to get everyone's legs back under them. It's going to get these players in a rhythm. And, basketball is a game. It can be a game of momentum. So this is what makes it very interesting, in my opinion.
Okay, so the one thing I've really kind of been seeing a lot of things on is, the NBA is talking about doing a lot of PEDS tests on the players And that's something we really didn't hear a lot of before. Which have you heard anything else on this, or what's your take on it?
I haven't heard anything else on it. It looks like they're not testing for recreational drugs, anything of that nature, but it's just really the performance enhancement drugs. And I can see why they may be focused on that. Like I said, these guys, they've been at home just chilling, stuck in quarantine, and
Facts.
everything's closed, and there's really nothing to do. So, I mean, I'm sure some players may have gotten out of shape, and basketball to return so suddenly like this it's put a lot of pressure on the players probably. So these players, they want to be at their best.
Do you think now? Did you hear anything? Because I haven't. I did a little research before the show and didn't see anything. Were the teams allowed to send workout equipment like what NFL teams were allowed to do for their players?
I haven't heard anything, but I believe that is what has taken place.
Okay, I know that's one I threw. I didn't really send to you to give you. I just popped it in my head, so I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. What I did notice though is the horse tournament. When we had the horse tournament, a lot of the athletes they had store-bought Walmart basketball hoops up in their driveway. So I'm guessing they may have gotten those store-bought basketball hoops from their teams, perhaps, or the organizer of the actual horse tournament. But I think I did hear a report that Jimmy Butler did buy each of his teammates basketball hoops.
That's right, Jimmy. That's right, Jimmy.
Make sure you concrete them down so they don't get stolen like Darrell's did.
Oh, man, bad memories. Bad memories, bro.
Oh, no, that really happened.
No, man.
We were not happy people.
So, look, real quick about that. So, I had that basketball hoop since we moved in this house. We moved in this house 2011. And that basketball hoop was out there for a solid 5 to 6 years. And no one the kids in the neighborhood came around and shot. Next thing you know, one morning, I go up and I'm going to work and I turn and look and I stare and I said,
something missing.
Where my basketball hoop at, man? I stole my basketball hoop. Now I got a new one. So if you're listening, thievery person out there, don't touch it.
I hope you stub your toe when you get up.
Facts. So, but yeah, it was a wild situation. Now we know that the playoffs are going to be crazy. But now we know we hear all the teams, the Lakers. You hear the Bucks. But this is a different format. We don't know what people have been doing behind closed doors all this time, unless they pop on TikTok or Instagram Live or something like that. So we don't see none of that. We really don't know what they're doing.
What the hell are you doing watching TikTok?
I don't really watch it. I just know that's what the young folks like to do, Jay. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That's why I let the young folks watch it, because that shit is dumb as hell.
All of my daughter does is she dances 45 minutes a day. She goes outside and practices the TikTok. She just walks around the house doing this. I thought she was doing sign language. I thought she was just going through the house doing this and then.
I know sign language, and I would share some, but then we might have some
facts. And we don't need any of that. And I'm pretty sure we would jump up from 60,000 to 100,000. Correct?
Oh hell yeah!
That's what I thought. So with that being said, what team do you think can actually benefit the most in this scenario? Because you're not going to have any fans there. You're not going to have, it's going to be very limited people. And if somebody's been like training and balling out during this time frame, is there a team that you think that could take advantage of this?
It's hard to really tell and dissect and just to rate who would that team be. But when I think of like a tournament, Southern basketball, I've played in a couple of tournaments. There's always like that one team that's scoring out of the gym that got that one individual player who they just can't stop offensively.
Right.
And that team brings to mind the Houston Rockets. James Harden. James Harden is arguably the best scorer in basketball. And prior years before, it's been a lot of pressure on James Harden. He got to score all the points. He has to get all the assists. The ball is always in his hands. And, with a lot of pressure, I mean, it's a lot. So he really hasn't gotten the job done. But it's two things here with this Houston Rockets team this season. Number one, the season, due to the coronavirus, this year is probably going to take a lot of pressure off all of these players.
Right.
So that'll help James Harden out right there. And number two, he has a trustworthy friend, a trustworthy brother, a trustworthy teammate that is now his sidekick in Houston, and that's Russell Westbrook. If you notice, especially before the season paused, Russ has taken a lot of pressure off Harden. And ever since they started going small, Russ has really been the star of the team, really, in my opinion.
Right.
And he's given Harden a time to rest. Harden doesn't have to do everything. So I like the Houston Rockets to be the team that's going to shock the whole world in this playoff series.
That's crazy because I had a feeling that's what you was going to say. I don't know why I felt that. He's going to say the Rockets. I feel it.
Now, see, I'm gonna throw this one at you, Ty. You know, there's been talk of Miami looking at Cousins, and I've also saw Victor Oladipo. If they were to get either one of those players, do you think that they could possibly emerge from the East?
Well, particularly this year, adding depth is always something good for any team in the NBA. That's every GM's dream to improve the team and add more depth, especially with injuries. But, when it comes to DeMarcus Cousins, he's a former All-Star. We've seen what the Heat was able to do with big men like Bam Adebayo this year.
My man.
Bam is he's the man. I mean, he's a darn near walking triple-double, and he's able to run the entire offense at 7 feet tall. So when you think of adding DeMarcus Cousins, I think a lot of people forget how good Boogie was before all these injuries hit him.
Right.
He's basically like a wing in a big man's body. He can shoot, and he can really score by any means necessary on the floor. And I think one thing that helps his case here in Miami is his motor, his personality. It's one that is in line with the leader of this Miami Heat team, and that's Jimmy Butler. So I think this is a match made in heaven.
See, I got a good feeling about that too. I'm not just saying that because
No, I'm just showing the Miami logo.
Oh, I thought you was giving me 5. I'll take that too.
No.
I wore this jersey for a reason. I tell you, if it does happen, I'll be hyped. But I know that, of course, Boogie has had his moments in the past, and I think that it may take him some time to truly, get himself together. And it's hard to just sometimes to add a superstar, especially when you haven't had that time. Now, a couple practices, you never know what could happen.
Building off of what Ty said, they got Bam, they got Jimmy Butler, plus Herrero is there to shoot from the outside. So that that definitely would play to his advantage. Where me thinking about bringing in Oladipo is plays everywhere and is more of a slasher, which that's what Jimmy Butler is.
Right.
So it'd be doubling up on the same position in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope for great things. That's all I can ask for. But I feel like with this format, I just feel like that it's anyone's game. I truly feel like it's anyone's game.
Right now, I would send you Kevin Love for a Kit Kat.
Well, I'd take him for a Kit Kat. And I mean, I definitely would. And that's even the little minty dark chocolate ones, which are weird. They're weird. They're weird, but I'll take it for that one. Now, let me ask you this, Ty. Who would be the most underrated player heading into these playoffs in your mind? Like, you're looking at, of course, they got to play a couple of games, but who could really turn up and be dangerous during these playoffs that no one's really talking about?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to have to go with someone who I feel like is Mr. Underappreciated. And that gentleman goes by the name of Chris Middleton.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. So, playing in Milwaukee, he's in Giannis' shadow. But of course, I mean, it's Giannis. Everybody's in Giannis' shadow right now. So, Chris Middleton, I looked at his numbers, and Chris Middleton is on the verge of joining a very unique club that guys like Larry Bird, Steph Curry, and KD are all in. That's the 40-50-90 club, shooting 40% from the field. I'm sorry, 40% from three-point, 50% from the field, and 90% from the free throw line. So Chris Middleton, he's like a quiet assassin. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Scottie Pippen because, Mike was so dominant, and just like Giannis is so dominant, but Scotty took a lot of pressure off Mike, and I feel like Chris Middleton can do the same thing.
So, yeah, I mean, he's overshadowed by him, but he takes a lot of the pressure off of him.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Definitely.
So, my last question for you, Ty, is I've been doing some research, and I know my feelings on it. I want to get yours because, you know much more about basketball than I do. How do you feel about this year's incoming draft class?
This year's draft class, it's going to be pretty good. I feel like it has a lot of good players. On the outside looking in, it's just a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent on the wings. A couple big guys out there, but I don't expect too many draft night trades for teams trying to move up. Just for the simple fact that you can probably get a really good player at each selection. I don't feel like there's a clear-cut number one overall pick, and that just goes to show you how deep and how good this draft class is. But there's one guy I will give a shout-out to, and that's Anthony Edwards. He is going to be dangerous.
Yeah,
I really feel that way. Feel that way.
I've seen a lot of that kid, and he's phenomenal, man. He made that Georgia team every bit of what he had. I mean, he was a stud for the Georgia Bulldogs team, just a stud.
He was, and the one person that I feel should have stayed in school, and I could be wrong, is Cole Anthony. I think he needed another year because he really underperformed from what even we thought he would do at UNC.
Right. My thing with Cole Anthony is this. It's the only thing I have. I feel like, just watching him, I just feel like even if he came back next year, they just wouldn't have it together. Some teams just mesh well together, and I just don't think it was just meant to be. I mean, when they came to UVA, and it was early in the season, you could just tell that it was just a different vibe. Right. And we know that he's talented, but I just don't think his style truly meshed
with them.
It just didn't mesh with him, and I think he was going to stay, and I think at the end he said, you know what, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and just make it out there.
Steven says, sorry guys, but I'm Canadian. Just give me hockey. Okay. Well, you just changed to whatever channel's got hockey and enjoy. Okay,
was that TSN up there?
I don't know.
TSN. My man Don Cherry got fired, I think, for
He did.
Talking. Don Cherry's a legend out there talking that nonsense.
Yeah.
Go somewhere, Don Cherry.
No more.
Man, look, Ty, brother, man, look, we truly appreciate you coming on, man. And is there any last statement you got before we get off of here, brother?
Well, back to the draft class. As I said, I like Anthony Edwards a lot, but I think LaMelo Ball is still probably going to be your safest and your best pick in this draft, just from the simple fact that, he's a 6'7" point guard. He's tall. He can see over the defense, but he can shoot. He's quick. He's fast. He's a typical point guard, but just at that 6'7" build. And I think the key with LaMelo, he comes from a basketball family background with his brothers and his father. We all know about that.
Right.
But I think the key with LaMelo is the fact that he played overseas in Australia. And, just like Luka, Luka has the professional overseas background as well. So watch out for LaMelo Ball. He could take the NBA by storm. He's
going to be way better than his brother.
And his brother's not even, his brother's not doing that bad, though. Like, he's actually a better three-point shooter than I thought he would be.
You take his first 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody had bust labeled on him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one that maybe 2 years from now we're talking a lot of different things. I think he's on the path to taking like a really big leap in Lonzo Ball. I truly do. Come on, man. Poor Stephen Daniels.
I think so.
Ty, man, we truly appreciate you coming on, brother. You take care of yourself, and you guys make sure that y'all check out my man Ty, because when it comes down to it, the 2 Up, 2 Down report, a lot of great things that Ty does, the phenomenal job he does with his graphics. Just make sure you check him out. Make sure you follow him on his social media, all that good stuff.
Definitely, and say hi to the wife, and just continue to be safe, okay, man?
Appreciate it. Y'all do the same.
No problem, brother. All right, everybody. That was Ty Montgomery of the LegacyMaker Sports Network coming on with us on that one. And Ty's one of the most down-to-earth guys that you can deal with. And he's a phenomenal person through and through, and you just can't go wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. All right, everybody. It's time for our last segment here on the show. You know what time it is.
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
All right, everybody. It is time for Cash or Trash here. We got quite a few topics this time around that we're going to break into. And the first one that we're going to get into with the Cash or Trash, Major League Baseball, kind of been, tossing around this 10-team division thing. We've heard a lot about it about a month or so ago, but there's still whispers of it. And do you cash or trash this 10-team thing for the MLB? I mean, it'd be what I think Central, West, and East. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, part of me, like, I'm split 50-50 to be honest, because I want to see some baseball.
Right.
There's nothing better 4th of July than watching All-Star game, stuff like that. And that's not going to happen this year.
Right.
But I definitely need no, I don't need. I would like to see some baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But this back and forth bickering with the owners not wanting to pay, which part of me understands because they're not making any revenue because there's no fans.
Right.
And then you got these millionaire players that are worried about getting all of their money for not playing a full season. Stop being little bitches.
I don't understand that. I mean, I'm like, you pay to play. Like, so it's a guaranteed contract, but if you're not playing the games, like,
you not getting paid.
I don't know. I mean, it's a weird thing. I just hope baseball gets it together because I'm personally gonna. It would be interesting. I want to cash it because I want to see what it would do. But I don't know.
But it's definitely going to have that asterisk beside it.
Yeah, most definitely. Now let's talk about another thing that could happen. We just got off the phone with Ty, but let's cash or trash with the NBA season. Now there's a lot of people that have talked. I think Barkley and them said they're going to be an asterisk if no matter who wins this season. But do you think the NBA season deserves an asterisk regardless of what happens this year?
I mean, the way they got it set up and the way they play it. Oh no. They're getting a fair shot. They're doing, they're cutting out the bottom feeder teams. I really like the way they're doing it. So no, they shouldn't at all. There should be no asterisks. There should be a champion. Because when the Corona first started, there was whispers that they're just going to give it to Lakers, give LeBron MVP.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster.
And that would have been asterisk worthy.
Been a disaster right
This no. This is
they're going to play it out.
Survival of the fittest and whoever's ready. So let's do it.
I got to say that I'll trash the fact that it would be an asterisk because here's the thing. They're still going to get a chance to play.
Dad, it's beer time.
And they're still going to get a chance to go out there and win it. Now, I think some people say they try to bring up that 99 season where the Spurs beat the Knicks in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you right now, the Knicks had won that championship. I bet you there would be no debate if there would have been a –
absolutely.
No one would have said there's an asterisk in the season.
I agree.
Because the Knicks hadn't won a championship since 1972. So it's been almost 50 years.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute. So anyway, I'm going to trash that. Next one, Joe Burrow. I know we'll talk a little bit of draft here because we got to get our little draft fix in here. But Joe Burrow, what are your thoughts, cash or trash, if he will be the offensive rookie of the year?
Trash. I just think him coming into Taylor's offense, he's still got green, but there's 2, possibly even 3 nasty defenses he's got to play.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
It's
gonna be rough, man.
As much as I want to see him succeed, I don't see it, man. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna trash it too. I think he's gonna have some good moments. But I don't think that we will see what we're truly going to see.
I hate to say it because I hate the Cowboys, but CeeDee Lamb
screams offensive rookie of the year, doesn't it?
He does,
Man.
because there's so. I mean, a play action. Just imagine play action pass to Zeke. That's going to bring both safeties in. CeeDee's going to be down there sitting in a chair in the end zone waiting for the damn ball.
Here's the thing: CeeDe's their third receiver.
Exactly.
You got Gallup and you got Cooper.
Yeah.
So he's their receiver. I mean, it's going to be almost too easy. At least it should be almost too easy
It should
for the guy that
but
some people say.
It is Dallas. They could, mess up a wet dream.
This is also facts, and I'm sorry, Dallas fans, don't beat me up, but that's just facts
I'm
out
gonna
there.
get beat up, you know that.
Yep, that's true. Next one, Chase Young, obviously the number 2 pick of that draft. What about him being the defensive rookie of the year, cash or trash?
I want to cash this
Mhm.
just because after seeing, he got pulled out for the BS that was down there, and he come back, chip on his shoulder, and I think with him being in DC, he's still got that chip on his shoulder. He is arguably up there with Von Miller, Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, and he hasn't even played a single down in the NFL as one of the most unblockable defensive people.
Right.
Why are you smiling?
I was just looking at comment, that's all. I was
Okay.
just reading the comment. My boy Cal. And I'm going to throw a shout-out real quick to Cal because my man Cal Evans is one of the most inspirational.
What's up, Corey?
One of the most inspirational people that you'll ever meet. The kid went through a lot. But, man, my man got to open up for Kanye West. And how many people can say that they had a chance to open up for a star like that? So, man, much love to you, man. And when they tell people that Amelia folks can't do anything,
Kyle?
I say,
Are you saying Kyle Evans?
Cal Evans, yeah.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah,
keep,
man.
Keep doing it, man.
That's a big deal right there. When I first saw it, I was like, man, this is amazing. Keep that up, brother.
Your cousin, Raz Rashid, I still follow him to this day.
Yeah, he's good people.
He's doing great things,
he's
man.
He's doing great things. And I'm excited about it. Now, for me, I'm going to trash him winning the Defensive Player of the Year.
Who you going with?
I'm going with Kinlaw. I think Kinlaw is going to be the one that gets it. If that defense continues their onslaught, which I still think they're going to be really good. And I think that
who drafted him?
San Francisco. Right. That's why I go.
Well, but see, where they're going to have Kinlaw at, he is going to be more of a block eater than anybody that's running on the outside. So, I can see why you like Kinlaw. Kinlaw is a great player. He is. But Kinlaw, to me, is this year's Ed Oliver.
That's
the same defense.
That's solid right there. If you're gonna be Ed Oliver's the one to be. He had a really good year in Buffalo, so I can definitely see that. All right, last one, cash or trash. This one's for you, Steven Daniels, because I know you're watching out there. The NHL's got a 24 now. NBA doing a 22 team. NHL's doing a 24 team format, and the way their format works is the top 4 seeds on each side are going to battle it out for the seeding. And then 1 through 4. I know my Avalanche in there. They're right now technically currently the number 2 seed, but that all could change.
I don't even know. I haven't looked.
I got to see
where my team's
at. And then they're not in. They're not in.
You're a dick.
I'm sorry. And then the Maple Leafs, which I know that's Steven's team, they would be on the other side on the west or east. I don't know, 12 seed. Regardless,
Nationals going to win it all again.
I just like it because I think the thing I like about it the most is the round robin for the top 4 seeds to battle for that spot. I think that's going to make it interesting.
Write it down. I'm picking not the Nationals, the Capitals.
You're picking the Capitals to win it?
Yep.
All right, hold on, write that down.
That way, see if my streak ends.
You got the Capitals winning it again. All right, I'm going to write that down. Capitals, Jay. I'm biased.
I know you want your. Yeah.
I am biased as all outside when it comes to this. This Avalanche team is young and hungry, and Nate McKinnon is a stud.
Oh,
and
what's up, Drew?
So for me, what up, Drew? So for me, I gotta go. And this is not me just being biased, but I am a little bit. I just really like it, but I'm gonna cash the format because I think it's gonna be fun.
Phone froze. It won't let me swipe left. I don't know.
That's crazy. So with that being said, I'm gonna cash it. I love it.
No, I mean, right now after what we've had, hell, I'm watching NASCAR.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. I was gonna bring that up, and
our old boy,
Becca. Please don't beat me up, Becca. What I want to say was, I never thought NASCAR would be getting the attention that it's getting right now. But this is actually really good for NASCAR because even with the stances on the Confederate flag and everything like that, I mean, Bubba Wallace became, like they said, they had their best first-time viewers ever, like, the best viewership for first-time viewers ever in that race. Everybody hoping that Bubba Wallace was going to get the dub.
But we were worried about him because afterwards he ended up in the medical tent from heat exhaustion.
I saw that, and that made me a little bit worried. I was definitely worried about him, man. And oh man, I'm glad that he's okay.
I am your hockey man on this team, and this is 100% trash. Well, you are hockey man. Where is our articles?
That's hilarious. You so stupid. He's like, I want the juice. I want the juice.
or even put up a small post and just tag us in it. We'll get it out there, man. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I want to hear. I want to hear what Stephen Daniels has to say.
He's had some stuff going on. He's trying to get a job, and he's been in my prayers. But
yeah, we love you, brother.
Give me my article, bro.
You're my heart and soul, boy. Nothing like the king of the snow.
Jay's in trouble.
Why would you be in trouble? Stop it, really. He's going to get beat. He's going to get it.
Bro, Raggy.
You're going to get it. Jay's in trouble, y'all. He's in the doghouse.
I'm starting to get heat exhaustion.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough. All right, everybody. Look, we truly appreciate you all tuning in for episode 258. And we thank y'all so much.
Yes.
We truly miss y'all. The goal should be back next week. It'll probably be Friday because that's my only day off during the week next week. So we'll be back on Friday. Hopefully we'll have some good stuff to talk to you all about as we get a little bit closer to sports coming back. I'm just excited about it. And like I said, we truly appreciate everybody who's
Thank you all, and God bless you.
Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all take care of yourselves. We love y'all.
And check out Darrell's one-on-ones because he has been really putting in some great work with some of the people that I think you got one coming up with John Burkett.
Yeah, John Burkett's coming up after this one, after the show tonight, 8:30.
So definitely check it out because, he's really, putting in good work, asking good questions. Great stuff to watch.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring y'all something to do during these tough times. I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying the one-on-ones, and I got a couple of good ones coming up, but we'll see how they go. I actually got one I got to record tonight after the show, so you'll probably see that one on Sunday.
So, like I said, sounds great. Just keep supporting us. Made 3,000 followers.
Yes,
guys.
3,000. I'm excited, man. This is great.
Well, that's great, but you could say it a couple times, and now it's annoying.
Okay. I did the best I could. All right, everybody. We love y'all. You take care of yourselves.
Oh, sorry, Becca.
What'd you do?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What'd you do? You're in trouble.
Bubba was in last week. It was Austin Dillon. I don't care about Austin Dillon. I love Bubba.
All right, everybody. Thank y'all all for tuning in. Remember now, you can hit us up on all our social media platforms. You can hit us up at LegacyMaker Sports on YouTube and Facebook, at LegacyMaker Sports on Instagram, Twitter, at LegacyMaker SPN, our websites, LegacyMaker Sports. blogs and .com and LegacyMakerSports.com. Until next week, we love y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. Be safe.
Peace.
And still try to do a little social distancing.
But still, you live life. That's what it's there for.
Facts. There you go. All right, everybody. Take care.